Some stories do not fade with time. They remain suspended in the quiet space between certainty and wonder. This is one of them. Amelia Earhart was a symbol of possibility, a voice carried on the wind, a woman who refused to stay grounded in a world that told her she should. But even the brightest stars can vanish behind clouds. And on the morning of July 2nd, 1937, the sky did not return her. She set out to do what no one had done before, to circle the globe along the equator. It was not a stunt, not a spectacle. It was a dream. She had been building her entire life. A dream fueled by courage, by curiosity, by something deep inside her that called upward. In her final written words, she spoke not of fear, but of excitement. The tone was warm, alive. She believed she would return. The world believed it too. The plane left New Guinea, headed toward a tiny island in the Pacific. Howland Island, a speck of land, in an endless stretch of ocean. The flight should have taken 18 hours. It was her second to last stop. Before completing her journey, everything was in place. The maps, the fuel, the radio contact, everything, except what waited in the sky. Something happened up there. We do not know if it was weather, if it was navigation, if it was signal, if it was silence. But the radio transmissions began to shift. Words became fragments. Coordinates became uncertain. Distance became unclear. And somewhere over the Pacific, certainty dissolved. Her voice was heard. One last time. Faint, strained, difficult to make out. We are running low on fuel. Static, silence. The sky took her. The largest search in aviation history began. Ships, planes, thousands of square miles of ocean. But no plane, no debris, no trace. Just water, and horizon, and more water. The world waited for answers. The world is still waiting. Amelia Earhart did not simply disappear. She left behind an echo, a question that has remained for over 8 decades. Not just, where did she go? But, what truly happened up there when the sky stopped speaking back? To follow that question, we must go deeper into the final radio messages, into the navigation charts, into the last island she never reached, and the one she may have. Howland Island is not a place most people have heard of. It is not a destination, not a home, not even truly land in the way we think of land. It is a strip of coral and sand, barely above the waterline, barely visible from the air, barely there at all. And yet, on July 2nd, 1937, the entire world was waiting for Amelia Earhart to find that place, a pinpoint in an ocean without end. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca was waiting offshore, engines running, radio crew listening, eyes fixed on the horizon. They were prepared to guide her in, but guidance only works when both sides can hear each other. Amelia's aircraft could broadcast, but she could not receive. A one-way conversation, a voice calling out into silence. The crew of the Itasca sent signals, markers, guidance. They heard Amelia calling them. They responded, again and again, but she never heard a word. Imagine flying toward target. You cannot see, hoping the world hears you, even though you cannot hear it answering. A sky that speaks. One way, we must be on you, but cannot see you. A pause. Static. We are running low on fuel. Static. A long, empty sound. We are on the line 157/337. And then, nothing. No distress call. No crash report. No final message. Just silence. The crew of the Itasca scanned the horizon for smoke, debris, flame, anything. They saw nothing. They listened for her engine. They heard nothing. They sent search planes into the sky. The planes returned with nothing. The ocean remained, still, as if swallowing sound itself. When Amelia Earhart did not arrive. The world did not panic immediately. At first, there was expectation, then worry, then a tightening quiet, then something heavier, a realization. She was not late. She was gone. But the story does not end here. Because no distress signal was heard. No wreckage was found. No oil slick marked the sea. This disappearance did not behave like a crash. There was time. There was fuel. There was communication. And the silence that followed felt intentional, or impossible, or both. To move closer, we must follow the line. Amelia spoke in her final words. We are on the line 157/337, a line traced across the ocean to another island, an island that might have held her for days, for weeks, maybe longer. Nikumaroro, there's a place in the Pacific where the water glows blue and the palms sway in warm wind and the world feels untouched. It is small, quiet, unassuming. Nikumaroro, a coral island, hundreds of miles from where Amelia Earhart was believed to have gone down. A place almost no one spoke of until years later. And yet, when you stand on its white coral sand and look toward the endless ocean, something about it feels like a memory, like someone was here. Her last known words were not random. We are on the line 157/337, a line that, when drawn across the ocean, passes directly over Nikumaroro. If Amelia followed that line, even for a few minutes longer, this is where she could have landed, not into the water, but onto land. Years after the disappearance, a piece of aircraft aluminum was found on the island. It does not match typical wartime wreckage. It does match the Electra's construction pattern. Then, fragments of a woman's shoe from the 1930s, not island-made, not local, and then para-compact mirror, not something native, not something left by sailors, something personal, small things, easy to dismiss alone, but together, they form the outline of a presence. Someone was here, on the island's southeast end. Researchers found a clearing. Inside it, a fire pit, charred bird bones, shellfish cracked open in an unfamiliar pattern, a tool shaped from metal scrap. The remains of someone trying to live, trying to survive, trying to last. And nearby, a single bottle, broken open at the base, as if used for drinking fresh water. Not island survival instinct, human survival instinct. In 1940, a British officer stationed on Nikumaroro reported finding bones. Not many, just a few. They were measured, photographed, crated. A doctor examined them and concluded the remains belonged to a man. The bones were then lost. Decades later, the measurements were re-evaluated using modern forensic methods. The conclusion changed. The bones were most likely female, most likely of Amelia Earhart's body size and build. The past had spoken, but science had spoken louder. If Amelia survived the ocean, she may not have survived the island. No water source, no rescue ships, no radio contact, just sky, sea, horizon, and time. If she lived here, she may have waited, listened, watched for sails that never came. Her final days could have been spent, not in chaos or fear, but in silence. The kind of silence that feels endless. This is where the story shifts. From disappearance to possibility, not of flight, but of endurance. If Amelia Earhart reached Nikumaroro, then the world did not lose her in the sky. It lost her slowly, on the edge of the ocean, where the horizon remains endless. And help never came. To go further, we must now follow something else. Not the plane, not the island, but the voices that were heard. After she vanished, voices transmitted across radio static. Voices that may have been hers. When Amelia Earhart disappeared, the world listened. Not for days, not for weeks, but for months. Because the sky did not go silent. Someone was still transmitting. Weak signals, broken phrases, half-formed sentences carried across the ocean by nothing more than radio static and hope. The calls did not sound like distress at first. They sounded like someone trying to stay calm, trying to stay present, trying to not be alone. From Florida, from Texas, from Australia, civilian operators, not military, reported hearing a woman's voice. On Amelia Earhart's assigned frequency, the voice said, "We are here. We are alive." The transmission was faint, irregular, broken by long stretches of silence. But it repeated, night after night, for nearly a week. The Coast Guard attempted to trace the signal. They narrowed it to a region of the Pacific, near Nikumaroro. But by the time aircraft were dispatched, the transmissions had stopped. Nothing answered back. Only static remained. But the signals returned. In West Virginia, a girl with a shortwave radio reported hearing, "This is Amelia Earhart. We are on a reef." Her parents dismissed it until the newspapers confirmed that her frequency matched. In Florida, a woman heard water rising. In Texas, heard "can't stay." Some transmissions included long pauses, as if waiting for reply. That never came. The most chilling voice log stated, "We can't last much longer." And then, no more words. Just wind. Just static. Scientists studied the records years later. They concluded the frequencies were real. The transmissions came from the Central Pacific. The signals could only have been sent if the aircraft was not underwater. Which means, if the messages were real, Amelia's plane landed intact, on land or reef, and she was alive, for days, maybe longer, calling, waiting, listening. When rescue ships reached Nikumaroro, the tide had risen. If the plane had landed on the reef, as the transmissions suggested, the ocean would have erased it, piece by piece, quietly, without hurry. Salt water is patient. We cannot prove the voice was Amelia Earhart, but we cannot dismiss it either. Someone transmitted those signals. Someone repeated that call. Someone waited for a response that did not arrive in time. If Amelia survived the landing, she did not survive the waiting. The ocean does not take quickly. It takes slowly, deliberately, in silence. And sometimes, the final moments of a life are not witnessed by anyone, except the sea. In the end, the story of Amelia Earhart is not just a mystery. It is a reminder of what it means to pursue something bigger than ourselves, something beyond the horizon, something we can see in our hearts, long before we see it in the world. Amelia was not defined by how she disappeared. She was defined by how she lived, with courage, with curiosity, with a belief that the sky belonged to everyone, willing to reach for it. She challenged the world, simply by taking flight, not to prove others wrong, but to prove herself true. We do not know exactly what happened. On that final day, we do not know whether her last moments were filled with fear or with the same calm determination that carried her across oceans. But we do know this. She did not stop trying, even in her final radio calls. There is no panic, no surrender, only effort, only focus, only hope, a voice reaching outward into the wide, endless sky. If she reached that island and waited for rescue, then her final act was survival, not failure, not loss, survival. And that, too, is courage. Some stories end with certainty, some end with closure, but some remain open, not unfinished, just continuing, like a plane flying past the point where we can watch it, but not past the point where we can feel it. Amelia Earhart's story continues. Every time we look toward the sky and imagine what is possible, every time someone takes a risk, every time someone refuses to be limited by what the world expects of them, that is what remains. not the disappearance. The courage. Amelia Earhart did not vanish. She became part of the sky. She loved so much, and the sky has never stopped remembering her. If you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, you're welcome to stay with us. Subscribe for the next journey.